Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. All right. So in rare form, Arthur Beterbiev basically is in attendance for the Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury fight, which is taking place in Saudi Arabia. You guys, if you're interested in seeing that fight, you're gonna have to, check your prospective area. Keep in mind they're in Saudi Arabia, so the time difference is gonna be a lot different from a fight in the UK versus a fight in the States. So it's gonna be possibly 3 to 4 hours even earlier, depending on where you're at. So, with that being said, nevertheless, let's talk about a fight that boxing purists have been clamoring for over the past year and some change. Arthur Beterbiev is in attendance, which is rare because you don't see Arthur Beterbiev anywhere. He never comes to fights. And I think that's one of the things that have stunned his growth as, being a, popular fighter. I think that's hurt him, and basically him being more popular around the boxing realm, because basically, as good as Arthur Beterbiev is, he never comes to fights. So to see him out there was a shocker to me. But nevertheless, him and Dimitri Bivol had a lighthearted face-off. Hopefully this is, basically a sign of things to come. Hopefully we can finally get the fight for Undisputed. Arthur Beterbiev has 3 of the 4 belts, and Dimitri Bivol has 1. Now, you've been hearing all kind of different reasons why this fight can't take place, from money to venues to just politics and other issues going on. But at the end of the day, the fans deserve this fight. I think to a certain degree, when you see these promoters, you see the fighters, people are just like, look, we want these type of fights. And for people not to say there's not an interest, people are clamoring for this fight. Boxing purists are clamoring for this fight. Now, people are trying to figure out, well, how do you pay the fighters and all this kind of stuff. Listen, I think for this particular fight, I think they can have this fight in Las Vegas. I think they can find a smaller venue to have this fight. I think they can do the Mandalay Bay. I think people will come to this fight. People will come to this fight. Boxing purists know who Arthur Beterbiev is. They know who Dimitri Bivol is. Arthur Beterbiev can sell out. Arthur Beterbiev can sell out the Hulu Theater. Dimitri Bivol has been able to at least draw 10,000 fans for the most part, at least to see him fight Canelo. So I think if you put it at a smaller venue like the Mandalay Bay, I think people will come to that fight. I think boxing purists would come to that fight. Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya and some of these other promoters are saying, hey, boxing needs to make big fights. This is a fight that is a must. In all likelihood, Dimitri Bivol, who last fought November of 2022, and he was successful because, of course, he was successful because he's still undefeated. And, Arthur Beterbiev is still undefeated. You can promote this fight similar to the same way you promoted Spence versus Crawford. I think you could do a mini pay-per-view. You put the right people on the card. You put a nice undercard. I think this fight can be successful. Now, who gets to broadcast this fight? Well, to me, I think ESPN should have broadcasting rights because Arthur Beterbiev has 3 of the 4 belts. Or, once again, they can figure out a way they can do some kind of small pay-per-view. It really comes down to pockets. If they charge like $40 or something for this pay-per-view, I think they'll get people to buy it. Of course, nobody is going to pay $80 to $100. Because these guys are not what you call mainstream fighters. But I think boxing purists would pay for this fight. I think it would be very successful. I think it would sell very well. If you put it at a smaller venue, I think it would be successful. I just think now is just time to stop making excuses and make fights. I want to see this fight. The fans deserve it. I think they need to do it for themselves, for their legacy. Artur Beterbiev was asked about this fight. He says he wants to fight. He said Dimitri Bivol, he was insinuating Dimitri Bivol is the one that's holding up the fight. So let's get it. Let's get it. I will be covering the Effie Ajaba fighting next week. So I will be going out to Lake Tahoe to cover that fight. I requested a 101 with Bob Arum. Hopefully I can get it. Hook me up, Evan. But we'll see. We'll see. But this is the question that media people need to start asking. Hey, man, how close or how far are we from a Dimitri Bivol, Artur Beterbiev Undisputed showdown? It needs to happen. It really does. Hopefully we can get this fight did by maybe as early as, June 2024. Hopefully Dimitri Bivol could get in the ring maybe as early as, January, maybe as late as February. And then hopefully, we can get this fight either the end of May or early June. But the fight needs to happen, Anyway, it's your boy Town. I'm out.